Welcome to Investors Corner with Christina, Tony, Alan, and Jordan Farrell.
I feel like I'm family now.
Yeah, y'all have my last name.
I was just going to say, Alan, did you know that?
Yeah,
You're going to get half of everything now. His real estate, his
Farrell,
stocks.
Tony Farrell.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Tony, how's your stocks going over there? Now you get to split with Jordan. Your stocks.
No, he doesn't get split stocks.
You get to split stocks now.
It's all right.
He gave you a new last name. Didn't you see it? Tony Farrell.
Tony's on the...
honored. You know, if I was a Farrell, I would feel 100% honored.
That's right.
For sure.
Yeah, well, you get half of
Jordan
everything.
might be embarrassed, but yeah, I would feel honored.
You would never.
You would be the red-headed stepchild of the family is what you're saying?
Definitely isn't me.
No, I was going to say.
we should let everybody know that Tony is under the weather a little bit and calling in today. So, Tony, that's why your picture's not on...
We're glad you stayed
any
home
of
and
the
didn't
cameras.
pass around the gift that keeps giving.
What a trooper coming in with 101
you know,
plus fever.
They got the bird flu, they got the swine flu, and I think I got the dromedary flu from Morocco.
Oh, we can't wait to have you in so we
yeah.
can have the dromedary behind you on the green screen now. Maybe catching a pass by Saquon. We're going to make it epic. Just for you.
That would be great.
Yeah. Well, Jordan, you wanted to go over.
How are you guys all doing today?
Oh, we're doing good. Unlike, well,
We're doing better than you, buddy.
I know. I feel so bad. I feel like we're missing a family member. Like it doesn't feel
Nice
right.
and healthy over there. I love it.
Yeah, well,
I'm glad it's me sick and not you guys. I'm just gonna say it like that.
well, I thought you were like the health nut.
I think we all agree.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with you.
I thought you were the health nut or becoming the health nut, you know, with the salmon salads and all that stuff. I thought your would be like your immune system would be up to par.
Yeah, but I sneak like cakes and stuff when Jordan's not looking.
The little Debbie's got to you, huh?
Well, you know the salmon. If it's real Alaskan salmon and not Atlantic salmon, which is fake. If it's Alaskan salmon, it's picking up the radiation from the Fukushima nuclear plant.
Wow.
What the heck?
Whoa.
Yeah, if you look at the radiation map, it has crossed the Pacific and is...
Jordan, you're going to have to supply the office with something new. You're going to give them all radiation poisoning.
Mhm.
So instead of
Tony, maybe that's what you have and you have a high fever from that. What do you think? It's the salmon.
Instead of balsamic vinegar, you should use iodine.
Yeah. That gets rid of the radiation.
Yep.
Wow. Well, Jordan, what did you want to talk about today?
Well,
Kind of excited.
Well, I think the biggest news on the front right now, and it's making national news, is DeSantis potentially trying to get rid of property tax, and
Definitely.
it's set to go to legislative session beginning March 4th. So there's obviously a lot of questions that go in with getting rid of property tax. At first, obviously, it would be great, no property tax, right? But there's a lot to discuss, I think.
Gonna have to make it up in another area.
With that topic, yeah, and that's the issue. So yes, in coming on to a thought process, I think that's where the conversation starts with all of us. Is, maybe let's go over the good first, and then we'll get into the bad. So what
Okay.
Alan, what would it look like for you if you didn't have to pay property tax?
Well, like for this building, for instance, there's no homestead on commercial property, so that'd be a little over $6,000 savings.
So my oceanfront building is $18,000.
18th. Oh yeah, you're.
Well, you
down.
got prime property
Right,
there, so
right.
that's
So,
a lot, though.
between I was more interested, honestly, before these headlines started coming out. I was more like concerned in trying to push, like, okay, how does insurance costs go down? because
Yeah.
because my insurance
That's
costs
where we
almost
should
the
be
same.
working is insurance.
It seems like a more reasonable topic.
Yeah.
But
I'm
yeah,
surprised your building is insured over there. with
well,
all of the new things going on?
When I remodel a building, I'm so OCD. It's everything's done. So there's nothing. It's probably one of the better built rehabs in Flagler Beach. And,
He's patting himself on the back, Tony. Did you hear that? Did you help in this?
If
in this
I was there, I'd be patting them too.
Did you help with the remodel of that, making it up to code?
Yeah.
You did? Oh, okay.
Liar.
Let's be real.
I like to take credit for a lot of things I don't do. So.
Oh, okay.
He gets 50% of everything. But no, I mean, if a property's built right and it has the right material and it's up to code, it should not be have an extreme tax. Now, the bigger issue with insurance. But the insurance issue right now is the condominium market, and it's destroyed condominiums across Florida, and that's the biggest issue of, where things are right now. But let's try to stay on the tax basis today. I don't think we'll run out of time, and there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
With tax. We can get into insurance
digress all
another
the
show.
time
I'm
here.
actually going to have an insurance person come on the show and hopefully
That'll be
expand
awesome.
on that. But there's a massive issue with insurance right now in real estate. But so besides getting rid of your tax burden and allowing you to have more money, whether it's $18,000 or $5,000 or whatever it is, then it comes up to, okay, what are the negatives associated with it? Where do our taxes go? What are your thought process on where taxes go?
Well, I know majority or a lot of it goes to funding the schools and things like that. And
Yep.
I was just reading here, $43 billion is what our state would have to make up in revenue if they did do that this year. That's a lot of money. So where do you think that would go? Or I don't know where you would make up that much except for regular state tax. That would increase instead of 7%. Go ahead.
I think it's about 40% of the total property taxes collected from the property taxes in Flagler are for the schools.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, you'll come up with other taxes like Carolina does, for instance. I mean, they got taxes for everything, and a lot of people move over here because of that.
So our schools, our police, our fire department, our road construction, our repairs, our libraries, water, sewer departments, and local services, they all benefit from our
the roads,
property taxes.
Yeah.
So the biggest question is, if and you brought up a number earlier, what,
43
billion? So 43 billion is what currently is collected per year in Florida for property tax. So if we lose $43 billion of property tax, where is that money coming to?
They're not going to just give it up.
Now, I do think
They can't.
that from what I've been reading and what I've been seeing, and I really can't wait for more information to come out, because I think there's so much more that has to go with this proposal than what's being released. But from my understanding is he's kind of becoming the Doge of property tax for Florida. He's trying to cut waste. I don't see it as, I think the headline is kind of, you can't get rid of it completely. It doesn't make sense.
It just goes somewhere else.
I think what he's trying to do is find where the waste is happening in the local municipalities, because there 100% there's some waste.
There's
going on.
always is.
There has to be.
Always is.
And he's trying to make people more knowledgeable of that waste. I think the headline is like a way to scare people or make people
clickbait, misleading, whatever you want to call it.
I honestly do. I can't imagine it being the truth, because let's get down to a micro level, I guess. So I'm not. I'm gonna pretend I'm somebody, but I'm not. Okay, so just say I'm a single mom. I don't own a house. I'm renting, and I have 3 kids. And now, having property tax taken down doesn't make any difference to me. I don't pay property tax. I have none.
Right. Well, the only potential is, which we know won't happen, is if you're the single mom with the kids in a rental, then without the property tax, potentially your monthly rent could go down.
It could.
That ain't gonna happen. Let's be real.
I know it won't happen.
Let's be real.
But it could.
In the short term, I think you're right. I think in the long term, what we're going to see, the people that have been on the fence that haven't been able to get approved for purchasing, a lot of the renters are going to go away and purchase homes. Those renters are now homeowners and not paying property tax. The rentals that are already existing, because there's more competition, because there's less renters, are now going to have to lower their prices. So potentially that is correct. But in the long term, the only other things I've been seeing is what is the increase, where the increase is going to take place to make up for the loss of income to the state government. And a lot of it says sales tax. if that happens,
Do they have a estimated percentage of increase for sales tax?
not yet.
No.
I haven't seen any numbers specifically, but
Well, have you guys heard whenever there was talk about the fair tax on a national level? Have you guys heard about that?
Yes. Well, that's
Look
been
into that
kicked
also.
around
It kind of-
for years.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that. And what is a fair tax is for was suggested, and it's fair that people that own homes to to pay the property taxes go to schools, but the bill of the fair tax is supposed to replace like federal incoming payroll and corporate taxes with like a national sales tax on goods and services. And it basically was designed to simplify the taxation system. But one thing about it is, if you think about it, is if it goes off of sales, everyone's paying into a system, because I know you talk about the family that has kids that go to school paying sales tax. What about the single woman that doesn't have any kids that's paying property taxes that go straight to the schools? This way, I think, when you talk about what's fair, people paying their fair share, well, the people living in, an upper end community, that they're still going to buy their Bentleys, every other year, 2-3 years, which are going to pay a lot more, the taxes towards the schools and whatnot. And same with the middle class, upper middle class, lower class. The problem is there's going to have to be some subsidies whenever it comes to the people around the poverty level to subsidize that increase in taxes that they're going to pay throughout the year. But ultimately, it's not a bad idea. It's never been implemented in any way, shape, or form. So it's
with what Tony's saying,
and hopefully they're able to, make the government a little bit more efficient. I think I would love for all governments, local, federal, state, to run efficiently.
well, in this article, it's proposed that Ron DeSantis said that they would increase the sales tax throughout the state at 12%, which would make it the highest sales tax rate in the country, like our state.
So, my question then is that 12% plus, for instance, in Flagler County now 7%. So would the 7% be added to the 12%, or, how's that? Because
He just said that it needs to be doubled, so there wouldn't be. So essentially, it would be 7.
but Daytona's 6 or 6.5%, so their number would be different than our
Yes, he wants to make it 12%.
Well, you got to think about it in those terms too. Florida's huge, especially with Disney, with the tourism.
Oh,
and
yeah.
like that. All those people are going to be paying for school taxes here too. So it's not just the people that live here. There's going to be all the tourists and everyone else that comes to the state.
And in Disney, they already have like a 21% tax too, which is odd. They do their own thing over there. If you notice, every time you go to an Orlando resort or over there, they're already at 21% sales tax for their hotels and all of their stuff, which is kind of crazy. Like if you go and get a room over in that area, they have a higher rate.
Airbnbs and everything like that, and tourism tax.
Yeah, it's higher in general.
I pay 12% for my Airbnbs.
Yeah,
So,
so
it's not cheap.
no.
Yeah.
So you got to think all of those extra inflated rates, that we're not even taking into account. But it said 73% of our property tax goes to schools. That's a high number in this article.
Yeah.
So Tony was right about,
Well, it would be nice if something was tried to work, because my wife, she is a behavioral specialist at the school, and they don't make a ton. It'd be nice if they could find or allocate some funding or find a way to get more money to give to the teachers and everyone that is teaching our children and the kids, to where they are being, I think, properly paid.
Well, I also thought that a lot of the lottery, all of the lotteries in Florida, that all goes to schools too, doesn't it? A percentage of that, a very large percentage.
I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, the lottery.
From my understanding is, and this is, I guess, just how governments work inefficiently or ridiculously, so that you're right. From my understanding, is they got a lot of the money allocated from the lottery. So then, since they got all this money, they took some money that was already going to the school and they put it somewhere else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it never all only went to the school from the beginning. Once they got that extra money, they took that money that was going to the school and put it in another bucket, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
So that's unfortunate, but
I don't know if you think this is going to go through.
I think there's going to be a lot of edits to it, but I think a reduction in property tax, a reduction in insurance cost, reduction in everything overall, if there can be proper cuts made. I think the idea of this thing of federal government, the idea of DOGE is to reduce spending and create efficiency, right? That's not a bad idea. Not saying that every step that they're making is the correct step and the proper way to do it, but they're taking it to a corporate level and a what do they call it, the something sector, like business sector or non-governmental sector. They're taking to what their profession is. But DeSantis is kind of trying, I think, from what I've read, to do something similar to the state of Florida. So like I said, I think it's more of I think the caption and what's happening is more of hey, this is shocking. Everybody getting
Well,
wild.
the other
shock and awe.
yeah, shock and awe. But the other thing is too, you have to put it on a ballot. So we're talking another 4 years from now. You're going to have to vote. 60% of people are going to want to vote for this, which I think it would pass.
Yeah, there's not. They have a lot of time to figure
Yeah.
it out. So
But everyone's freaking out now.
It has to be an amendment
Now-
to the Constitution for it to pass.
Yeah.
Right, and don't forget, DeSantis won't be there in 4 years.
Yeah.
He's out in roughly what, a year and 3/4 now, roughly.
If he can make this happen, and it could also be he's trying to solidify his legacy slightly.
Run to the
There's no doubt about
presidency
that.
after this.
If he can make
Yeah.
this work and figure out a way to make it work for everybody, and that includes lower class to upper class, where it's a fair shake, it will. I think it will solidify him
Yeah.
as a great governor, which that's your choice whether you believe it or not. But he has to have 60% voter approval for that amendment
Right.
to get passed.
Which
so.
I'm sure it would, because everybody who pays property taxes in Florida would want that gone. But then also,
But you have to weigh.
you have to
you
say
have
you're
to
going to
weigh
be
what
paying
the other
tax on the.
increases are going to be.
Yeah.
I'm pretty heavy conservative, and I have some major concerns with
Yeah.
losing my property tax, and I pay quite a bit of property tax.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't think it's as easy as saying and I
Yeah,
think
I
there's a
agree.
lot of level-headed people in the state of Florida that are going to be like, what's this effect going to have? Because it doesn't matter. Like, I can afford my property tax right now. It sucks. I can afford it, but it sucks. My concern is like, what's going to happen to the lower class? I'm seriously worried about the effect if sales tax goes up, if other taxes go up, and they're already pinching pennies.
I
It'd
think
be a
it's going to
horrible
affect
thing.
that health or the wealthy, obviously, because they're going to be, like Tony said earlier, they're buying all of the things. They're still going to be buying all of their stuff, and they're going to be heavily taxed.
Well, it's gonna
But Tony
help the wealthy though a
Yeah.
lot too.
And Tony also mentioned subsidizing and the poor, and that money
Yeah,
has to
that
come
would
from
be a
somewhere.
monthly-
Where's
a
that money
monthly
going to
check.
come from? This opens up a can of worms that's going to be difficult to put together.
I think he should get
My-
with Elon just to make sure that we're
Well,
on the up and up.
He might already be.
Make a phone a friend.
well, in order to raise the money, if sales tax falls short, because if you're at 12% and you can drive an hour or an hour and a half to Georgia and cut that down, where are you going to buy your larger goods?
I'm sure
Like
Trump would love
up-
it because he
up-
won't have to pay property taxes on Mar-a-Lago
well,
either.
up in Maine. Maine has sales tax. Massachusetts has sales tax. Vermont has sales tax, but New Hampshire doesn't. And New Hampshire's right in the middle of those three states. So everybody goes to New Hampshire to buy you can't buy a car because you got to pay the sales tax where you register the car. But your TVs, your washer dryers, all of your other large appliance and big ticket items, everybody goes to New Hampshire to buy it. So I can
wonder
envision
how
that
they're
here.
doing that though. Like, I wonder how they're doing that. Like, maybe
Well,
we
they
should
have a
all
high
take notice.
property tax. Makes up for
Yeah.
no state income tax and no
And it could-
sales
it-
tax.
It could be. It could also be state income tax or something like that if in other areas.
Well, the state income tax is where I was thinking they were going until Jordan mentioned earlier, because I hadn't seen the article, but Jordan mentioned earlier about them looking towards sales tax. But one of the things that DeSantis in the last few years has rallied is to bring your business to Florida because we have no state income tax. So that would be a difficult road to back up on in his case, trying to bring businesses here and then saying, oh, yeah, well, now you got to pay the state income tax. So I'm not exactly
Yeah,
sure.
I think
Go ahead.
I don't think it'd be state income tax here that he would do. I think it would be more along the lines be. My thoughts would be it would be more of a sales tax increase by like 23% is I think what they opposed on the fair tax, something like that.
Well, it says
But it kind of would, I guess, kind of maybe even give a little bit more power back to the people instead of being forced to pay a property tax. You can kind of choose a little bit, if you want to, still buy whatever higher end product or maybe go a little bit lower end to save money that way. But you're basically more control of your destiny that way.
Well,
So
I agree with
Is
that.
my
Tony,
kind of
what is
thought.
our
And no
tax
one-
here for on property? Like, what is it assessed by? Do you know the percentage?
Well, it depends on what area you're at, and you have a different millage
Yeah,
rate
so-
per area.
Yeah, Flagler Beach is
Millage rate,
different than
yeah.
Palm Coast is different than
Because it
Pinellas.
says here in New Hampshire, it's 1.7 to 2.5% of property assessed value. So, and it's the highest in the country. So I'm kind of just trying to put that in comparison with what.
Well, percentage is a hard thing to say. Essentially, you have a millage rate, and the millage rate is basically $1 for every $1,000 of the property value is what it's based off of. So if you have a 0.1 or a 1 millage rate, you'd be paying, and you had a $500,000 house, you'd be paying $5,000.
Yeah.
I believe Flagler Tony, I don't know if you can check it, but I think it was 0.221 or 0.23 maybe is the millage rate. So you're paying.
And it says here that they have a low moderate income relief program for people that are low income, which I did not know about. I don't know if they offer
You
that.
mean New Hampshire?
Yeah, New Hampshire, which I don't know if they offer that in Florida, but if they got rid of the property tax and they did that, I wonder if that could be something that could help that.
Well, they're getting rid of the property tax. They still have to make up the shortfall.
Yeah.
So even if they increase the sales tax to make up for the shortfall, they'd have to increase it further to make up for the ability to give the subsidies.
there's so much here.
So it's
Yeah, I think it goes back to there has to be a larger comprehensive plan. It's not like I'm getting rid of everything. And I honestly don't think that they're gonna. I could see this possibly working on like a personal homestead property basis more so than every property. Like I don't really see them like for commercial owners.
yeah,
There's so much
Yeah.
income coming in off of commercial
yeah.
properties.
Well, that's what it's all about.
Yeah. So why would they do that? But it would relieve a lot of debt if it was on the homestead side of things or the personal income, and they could do that for just homestead property. That would take away any secondary homes or commercial properties, Airbnbs,
Right.
things like that. They would not fall under that category.
That would make sense. To be the
And that would
homestead,
be a
yeah.
much lower amount of money than the
Yeah.
$43 billion that you're talking about. So, like I said, I think there's a lot more information that hasn't been released yet. At least I haven't seen it. That would make this make a lot more sense and protect the lower class much more than it appears to be just to say property tax is gone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
that's the headline.
No, but they
that's
like to
not
make the headline. Exactly.
yeah.
They don't want to get into the meat and potatoes of the
Right.
article.
Right.
I love clickbait.
It is. It is a phenomenal clickbait, and it literally was on Fox News this morning. It was on Fox, the main news channel. It was on almost every news
Oh,
channel.
they love Ron. So anything he does and he gets plus, it's like I said, it's Trump's state.
Not everybody
He lives
loves
it.
him, but
Oh, a lot of people do.
yeah, I agree. But like Trump, a lot of people love him, but you don't always get good press.
No, but this is good press for him. Well, at least he thinks. And not only that, remember, marketing class, negative press is the same as positive press because you're still getting the attention on you
attention,
regardless.
yeah.
So we've learned about that. So what else is there in your little sheet over there?
I don't know. I mean, I wrote down a lot of stuff about tax questions just so that I could answer them properly. But it just we've kind of filled in the blanks on all that stuff. I mean, we could get in a little more into.
We could talk about your Bitcoin. Your stocks are going down, so we're purchasing now.
I will say it's a great time to buy any stock right
Tony,
now.
how are you doing? Are you buying stock today while you're homesick?
I bought a little bit of Bitcoin today, and for an investment point of view, I invest in cryptocurrency as much as I'm willing to lose.
That's the only way to do it.
It's good investment advice.
You know what I mean? I love solid traditional stocks. When it comes to cryptocurrencies, I do have some money invested, but it's not a ton. But if I lost it all tomorrow, I'm not going to be hurting. So
So
I like I said, I invest the cryptocurrency as much as I'm willing. If I lost it all, it would really suck. Don't get me wrong, but it's not gonna hurt. Like it's not gonna affect me. You know what I mean?
You're always in a good mood, so
That's
I don't see how it could
I
affect
did buy
you.
a little bit today, though.
So
I bought a little
the
bit today just to make Jordan mad.
Well, you also get half of Jordan's stuff now
the
since you're a
Jordan-
feral, right?
so the cool thing if you're into stock, yeah, I belong to, well, I have 2 clients that are really good financial planners, but I belong to a couple different online sources that I like. But everybody's going into AI. Obviously, is a great thing to invest in right now. Quantum computing, which is really interesting. If you don't know anything about that, that's really fun to talk about.
What is that?
Essentially, they just created this new computer, essentially, that can process take whatever computer you have now, and this new computer can do it. Say it took it 24 hours to do it. This new computer, and this is very basic understanding. I don't know enough, but it could do it in 5 minutes. Like that's how
Oh.
much smarter it is.
We need to get one of those for here.
They're not even for sale yet.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, and it's
Can we buy any Chat GBT stock? That
but
thing's amazing.
robotics, AI, quantum computing,
Technology.
healthcare that's associated with AI, all
So
that.
basically technology.
But basically, the articles I've been reading are like any of those things during the Trump administration that are set to be the next, like NVIDIA's and all these
Well, it's the wave of the
MicroStrategies.
future. Like it's literally where we're heading, you know?
But do you know where I started to say when we were off air before we started where the idea for Bitcoin came from?
Oh yeah, you were getting into that.
Right. So it's kind of funny. Go back a bunch of years when video games like World of Warcraft and RuneScape and all these others were the amazing new thing.
What the hell are those? I've
They're-
never even
they're-
heard of
they're
one.
kids' video games.
Oh,
Well, actually,
Back
a lot
in
of
the what,
a lot of
70s?
adults. No,
60s?
no.
World of Warcraft?
I've never even heard of this stuff.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Tony,
I still
Tony's
like
a
it.
gamer.
It's cool.
so in
I
World
used
of
to be-
Warcraft,
I used to be pretty hardcore.
yeah. So,
You don't strike me as a gamer.
well, you get to
Neither does Alan.
you get. I played it, but I didn't get deep into it. But a lot of people did get deep into it. But the thing
Wow.
of it is that you're playing this game and some of these games are set up that you go and you do the game and you can earn stronger armor and stronger weapons and all this kind of stuff as you go along, or you pay to win. So you can buy an imaginary sword, an imaginary shield, imaginary armor with real money, not the imaginary
Oh.
money. So so you're buying things that don't exist with money that does exist, and you could buy, but you had to buy the things in the game with gold. So you bought imaginary gold with real money. So then somebody came along and said, "Hey, people are buying imaginary things with real money. I could make Bitcoin or whatever cryptocurrency, and you get an imaginary coin that you pay real money to, which goes up in value because a lot of people begin to believe that a nothing is worth something."
So I can throw Puff
If I-
the Magic Dragon on Bitcoin and start making some money?
Don't quite work that.
Well, I mean, look at every look at
That's not what I think
Tony,
it is.
are you
is
in
it?
the bathroom? Tony, did you decide to take us to the bathroom?
No, I'm here, but yeah, just blockchain.
Happy Tuesday, everybody.
I
You know there's a mute button on your phone? I want to hear the toilet flush. That's funny.
I honestly don't know a ton about the crypto. I just, like I said, I buy enough to get, just to get in the game a little bit. You know, how it all works. Some are limited quantity, some aren't. I guess the mining for Bitcoin gets super expensive with, running electricity and the systems that you have to have now, the power of these systems in order to even get one coin. So it's supposed to be a limited supply with a Bitcoin. So there's a scarcity of them at the end. So in the future.
Yeah, but you hear what you're saying? It's a limited supply of what?
so it's a good point you're making, but let's think about the U.S. dollar.
Oh, the U.S. dollar's fake too.
So
Full faith in credit.
what's backing the U.S. dollar now?
It's all
Air.
fake.
Exactly. So the U.S. dollar used to have a backing of gold,
Gold,
right?
right.
So at one point we all
Right.
believed, okay, the U.S. dollar is worth gold.
I agree.
Okay, now the U.S. dollar is not backed
It's
by
a
gold.
fiat currency now.
So the only reason that you want my $50 is because you believe $50 has value.
Well,
So it's
I believe that some other fool will take that money and
exactly.
give me something
Exactly.
for it.
Yeah. So it's the same concept
it's the
with
same concept.
Bitcoin.
Oh, I agree.
The fake money online.
I agree. The only difference that I can see in that, the only difference I see in that is that supposedly we're backed by our what's the domestic? I just drew a blank.
FDIC or whatever.
No, our domestic production. I can't remember the name for it of the country. How much money we produce as a country.
So the reason Bitcoin is going up is because President Trump is a pro-crypto president.
Exactly.
And if that changes to which, believe it or not, XRP is another cryptocurrency that's very
But the stocks are
interesting.
dropping quite a lot.
It's
and-
also gone up way higher than it's ever been. So I mean, if you think about where
But we're in the
Bitcoin's-
we're in the process where it's going down now, right?
No,
No,
we're
because that's why Tony's purchasing it, correct?
well.
For Bitcoin.
For Bitcoin.
Well, no, the entire stock market right now is dropping.
Yeah,
Like,
but-
it's a good time. Today is a great day to go buy
Yeah.
a stock.
But
Okay.
It doesn't matter what it is. Go
But
buy
it's a
it.
temporary.
It's all temporary, but in general, the projections on all this stuff is much higher. So
Okay.
it's honestly, if like all those things I just mentioned, the AI, the robotics, the quantum computing,
Sure.
all that stuff right now, you're at the baseline. Cryptocurrency, you're at the baseline. All this stuff's just starting.
I don't know if I'd be good long term at something like this. Like if I go and gamble, I want that shit right now if I
Well,
win.
so that's the thing that most investors make the mistake of. Like these aren't penny stocks.
Yeah.
These are okay. I'm gonna hold on to this for the next 5 to 10 years. Yes, I may take some profit and sell occasionally, but this is for me and my retirement. I'm buying this saying I believe that. So Apple, when it came out, you could buy it for $1 a share.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
If you bought $1 a share of Apple, you'd probably be retired right now.
I need to go sign up for Bitcoin today.
With a lot of money.
They have a ton of money.
Yeah.
But look at Amazon. Look at Netflix.
You know,
who the frick would say Netflix would be worth $1,000 a share?
Yeah.
I mean, that is stupid, and
When-
I still don't understand.
When Amazon first started as a online bookstore, then they started bringing in product. At that time, I owned a scuba shop, and people were trying to buy.
So I want to say Scuba Steve.
Speaking of Scuba Steve, are you okay back there, Tony? It sounds like you're coughing up a lung.
Told you we
Yeah,
shouldn't
I'm
do
coughing a little bit.
Oh, poor.
But
Everything is based really, whether it's cash, Bitcoin, home prices, everything is one simple economic philosophy. So on supply and demand. The
Yes.
more supply we have and less demand, the less the dollar is worth. We're printing money left and right, so that's what actually causes inflation, is having way more money into the system than there used to be. I guess you need more of that money to buy, a certain product. Same thing with houses. If there's a small amount of houses and a ton of demand, prices are going to go up. Everything supply and demand, especially like Bitcoin, limited supply, the demand side. It's harder to mine the Bitcoin now, so the demand's still high, and there's a limited supply, so the price keeps going up. What that looks like in the end, I don't know. When it comes to cryptocurrency, I don't. It's a pretty new type of currency, let's say. So that's the only reason why I invest in that is a little bit here, a little bit there. I don't have too much into it, just to see what happens. If I lose it all, like I said, it sucks, but it's not where I really invest my money.
Along with what you're saying, the federal government has floated the idea of switching from Federal Reserve notes to cryptocurrency. And if that happens, we're in my opinion, on a national level, as the main currency. If that happens, we're in trouble. There'll be no more, doing anything. I don't like Big Brother knowing everything, even though they probably do know everything anyway.
I'm with you.
But
Do you think that
100% agree.
Elon and them are trying to push that though? Do you think that they're going to back
Biden
stuff like that?
administration was where we're going now.
I think
I
that
don't know.
cash is king to Trump,
Well, it
and I think
it
it's
is,
going to
but-
stay that way.
But you have to understand that from the federal government's point of view, the power they would gain
oh yeah,
by digital currency
Yeah.
is unimaginable. So
that's scary,
it's scary.
isn't it? Yeah,
But
we're already there. We're doing all that now.
well, we are, but we aren't.
Yeah.
Because you can have some guy come over and mow your lawn and throw him a $20 bill or whatever, and
Just don't send it through
who
Venmo.
Who knows what? Yeah, well, that's a different
Venmo
story.
and Zelle. You have all
But-
those digital
but-
apps.
But if crypto if the federal government goes to cryptocurrency, guy comes over, mows your lawn. There's no $20 to throw him. You have to do it
So
electronically.
So
We got devil's advocate over here. Hold on.
How much money do you have in your pocket right now? Cash. I have 0. How much money do you have in your pocket?
I think I have like $18.
Okay, $18.
I have about 400.
Okay, so
He's old school.
So
Jordan, don't lie over
I
there.
do not.
Jordan, don't lie.
I actually made so the guy that comes and pulls the weeds in my building. I literally steal money from Tony because I don't carry cash.
Tony, you carry cash?
and I send him Venmo or whatever.
Right.
My money
Oh,
is
yeah,
already
Jordan,
digital.
It'll be $30.
My money is already digital.
He made it on Bitcoin today, Tony.
I have some saved in my my safe. That's it. I don't touch it. I don't use
Right.
cash. It's rarely that I ever have any cash. And that being said, my USDC, which is the same, USDA, which USDC is the cryptocurrency version of that,
Right.
is already transferable digitally to anybody. And people are already buying houses with Bitcoin, and they're already
Oh, yeah.
buying houses
And Teslas and all of
as
that.
long as your money is considered you want it and there's value to it. I'd
Right.
rather you give me Bitcoin just because, like, especially for like $20. Okay, yeah, send me $20 in Bitcoin. You know why? Because my rate of increase on Bitcoin is so much more prevalent than 0 for the US dollar. Because
Right.
the US dollar
Tony won't be able to
Yeah, I
pay for
agree.
the dromedary. You pay for the dromedary at cash or by Bitcoin? Yeah.
I mean, it's all going to correlate with risk. So if your risk analysis for lower purchases, I'd much rather get lower purchase money at any type of crypto, hands down, much rather, because my rate of increase is going to be much higher than USD.
Sure.
But that being said, our risk scenario for housing right now, we don't believe in it enough to say, yeah, I don't want your cash. Send me money.
Yeah, exactly.
Because my $300,000 for my property is, I'm a little scared that you're going to send me $300,000 in Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's going to go to 0.
Right.
But the speculation of it is, okay, if you had sold your house 3 years ago for Bitcoin and you collected, I don't know, 5, 6 Bitcoin at, anything around $40,000, you would be extremely happy with your sale.
Yeah.
Extremely
I
happy.
don't argue that from a financial gain or loss point of view. I don't argue that at all.
Tony does.
But my issue is
Well,
there's no hiding.
I mean, at the end of the day, you could sell your house and go down to the poker room down there and put, whatever money on red, and you got 50% chance of doubling it right there. But is that the smartest move? So at the end of the day, having a diverse portfolio where it's a little bit in crypto, you want to get your 401ks in there. You want to hit all your investments. Get a stock advisor that actually gets paid, kind of like we get paid to help people buy real estate, because this is what we do. Is I always suggest getting a financial advisor and putting your money there. Then even maybe getting an asset or two. I have a rental property that does very well. In the future, if anything goes wrong, I could always sell it. I'm renting it out now. But yeah, if you guys anyone needs help with that, Jordan, I could can hook you up and find you a property that's going to have a great cap rate and everything else, to where you're going to be sitting pretty on the asset side, because the asset is, like you were talking about, Alan, is the hard currency, if you will. Like, you have something you can go and look at. It's not a dollar. It's not a made up coin, right? It's an actual asset that you can go there and look at.
Right.
A hard asset, they call it. So, I encourage people to have like a very diverse portfolio if possible. And yeah, Jordan and I can help out with, a couple aspects of that, as far as finding that asset, as far as the house or the investment property.
We got to make you guys investors instead of just real estate brokers.
Well, they are investors. You're investing in your real estate.
Yeah, so everybody should have a
Got to get
portion.
your other license.
Everybody should have a portion of their investment portfolio in real estate.
Yeah.
And it just depends if you're heavy on real estate or you're heavy in stock. But there's a lot of different things. We 100% as investors believe that you should have a diverse portfolio. It protects you from different
yeah.
markets.
Yeah.
The real estate
Yeah.
market, on average, the real estate market's every 7 years. On average, the stock market's every 3. So you have a different up and down cycle for both. Both otherwise always go up. They don't generally go down for a long period of time. You will have lows, but your highs are going to be higher than your lows. So it's all, just get out there and invest. It's really the answer. And don't sit on your money. Don't leave your cash in your bank account. Put it somewhere safe, but invest with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, That was a great show, everybody. I don't know if you guys have any closing words. I hope you get better, Tony.
Tony he just hung up.
Oh.
I think it was an accident.
I think so too.
Probably
Well,
coughed.
hopefully he'll get better. I know, right? Coughing up a lung.
It's bad. I had it for at least a good week of solid sickness.
Staying away from y'all.
I don't have time for any of that.
No, me either.
Oh, Tony's back.
He wants to say goodbye.
All right, Tony, close us out, buddy.
Hey, I lost you there.
Yeah, we're wondering if you're coughing up a lung.
All right, bud, you got to close us out.
All right, we're done.
We're
Yeah. All good
All
things must
right.
come to an
Well,
end.
It was so nice talking with you, all you guys this morning. And hey, next week if anybody, maybe we could give the number so people could possibly call in next week, or maybe
Yeah, we'll take some live
text us
calls.
some-
Yeah, we can go live.
Yeah, I'll
anytime.
get some
if they
snippets
have
out and
questions about real
put
estate.
that'll be fun.
Cool. Yeah. So hey, anyone out there that has gained some information or just like hanging out with us today, if you guys would like and subscribe to this channel, we greatly appreciate you. Again, thank you for visiting us here at Investors Corner. I'm Tony Guerin, Florida Beaches. We're with Jordan Farrell, Chrissy, and Alan. They always do such great work. Hey, we'll see y'all around. Thanks for visiting.
See you later.
Bye, guys.
See you.